Hello everyone, this is Maffuman coming at you with the StarCraft Star Battle. We have a 6-on-6 ship-building action game in the StarCraft universe, with starring Gorky, who started as a Arbiter, who started with feedback. We have Walt White, also an Arbiter, Blackout, and THG Spank, both starting off as Leviathans. And Walt White decided hasn't quite upgraded just yet. And we have Bird of Prey as a Void Ray. There should be one more guy. There he is. Hey, Lost Cause, starting in as a Frigate. Hoeing General, starting off with Plague as his Overlord. Rockin' Dark, also rocking the feedback right there. Padronicus, starting off as a carrier who went for the farming build, the 5 interceptors. Then there's Nightmares SJ with a Colossus, Ghetto SC, starting off as a Dreadnought, and Arteni as a Void Ray who opened Cloak. Alright, that is an unusual upgrade. Let's talk about it a little bit later. We have THG Spank being pushed back a little bit. He's a Leviathan, but he's not, he only has, kind of infield upgrades. And some speed and all that, so he had to kind of like push out. Blackout doesn't seem to have any upgrades whatsoever, so Blackout might be a little bit new. You definitely usually want to upgrade in the very beginning. There's really no reason not to, but it is not entirely a death sentence. He can totally come back. He just has to be a little bit wary. Arteni being pushed back. Now he has Cloak, which is not a usual ability to start off with, but just checking to see if there's anything else down there. It is the ability that Arbiters, that Void Rays will get, but they usually get it a little bit later, because look at this, it costs 20 energy just to use, Cloak 20, and then drains 10 energy per second. Now he only has 225, so he can only drain energy for just a little bit of time, but Blackout doesn't have any upgrades whatsoever. He has to be pushing back. He does have 10,000 life, but he only has 1.4 speed, so like every one of these ships can catch him. And there's 2 Arbiters, but the Arbiters can't heal. Zerg ships have lots of advantages, but one of the disadvantages is that they can't be healed in flight because there's no shields on the Leviathan. He might make it back. Yeah, he does. They even though he was unupgraded, he was still close enough to the base, had enough health and he retreated in time that he could get back. Hopefully he gets back and upgrades. Come on, we'll keep a little eye on him. While we look at THG Spank, who does have upgrades, but is in the absolutely wrong place at the wrong time. Beginning of the game, sometimes your urge to farm overwhelms your urge for safety. And right now, THG Spank is being pushed back. He does have the 4 tentacles to slap around any farming ships, and it does extra damage versus massive. That's one of the advantages of Leviathan, is that it does extra damage towards massive ships with its lasers, essentially. So they're both good at farming and at attacking massive ships, but they only go at 5 range. Let's see. Hoeing General. There we go. He used his Plague. Now, it's normal for some ships to start off with farming builds. Let's look at the Carrier. Has a farming build. Let's look at the THG Spank, the Leviathan. Has a farming build. Lost Cause has a farming build. Wow. There we go. And they're not going to be able to kill him. But some things like Hoeing General, the Overlord, started off with a fancy ability because he's a support ship. Many support ships wager that it's more important to use your fancy ability in the very beginning as your kind of defining characteristic, that they can kind of sacrifice a little bit of farm ability. But the Void Ray opening Cloak, it will save him if he's ever in trouble, but it's just such a cost investment that the idea of it is to kill ships. Well, you probably won't kill anybody in the very beginning unless they're really out of position and you're really well in position and they're already weakened. And now that they know that they have that Arteni has Cloak, anybody who has feedback, okay, so only Gorky has it right now, but Walt White could easily get detect now, or he could easily get feedback, and they know that Arteni not only will go Cloak eventually, but he already has it, so using that, taking away all of his energy, because you drain, what is it, 400 energy? 400 energy, that's literally all of Arteni's energy, plus some. So look at this. He is trying to run away. He was pushed back by the Sky Furies as well as Gorky. Gorky just wants to catch him. He's like, come on, get him. There we go. See, now Arteni has no energy. Arteni, the energy-intensive Void Ray, has to go up, and around, trying to run away with his 1.96 speed, which is decent. You know, but the Lost Cause does have a 1.82 speed and plenty of range, so he can actually catch him. Saved a bit by Get OSC right there. In general, using his Psy Blast too. Now he doubled down on that. Now he does, his only ability to farm is through his Mutalisks. Mutalisks are the secret to really good Overlord play. Blackout, getting feedback to get it. He does have some upgrades finally, but he is totally out of position. It's kind of a, he's gonna get down to the 2,000, the 1,000, and he is gone. Didn't even need the Psy Blast in general, but you know what? You got it. You did kill him very quickly. Lost Cause, pushing back. He was in the position to do damage, but like after the Leviathan stopped taking damage, wasn't there, he had to start taking damage. Now, everybody's pushing back TSG Spank as well. Now, they get 2 Leviathans in one push. A 2-for-1 special on Leviathans. He... maybe... yeah, no, Nightmares SJ does have Thermal Lance, but did not push him further because there was a base, there was many people. Nightmares SJ, repping South Jersey, Best Jersey, but not wanting to die right then. Which is always smart. You know, usually if you can not die or, you know, die, you should probably try to not die, if at all possible. Unlike Get OSC, who doesn't have who has armor, but he's being pushed back by 2 people. Lost Cause and Bird of Prey, who upgraded his beam a lot. So even though he's being healed by Rock and Dark, he has 600 health and he is gone. Get OSC is taken out in the first 10 minutes of the game. Well, they got to return the favor takeout for Lost Cause. He has 900 health, and he does get pushed back. Arteni gets taken out because he was taken out. He was a Void Ray. He was pushing up, and I think he was probably feedback, so he couldn't use his little fancy cloak ability. This is back and forth action. Nightmares SJ repping South Jersey. He's probably using his hardened shields to survive. Rock and Dark being like, hey, I can heal. I do like 60 healing, but it's at the cost of energy, so I can't use my feedback if I use my energy. But I have to because I'm trying to save Nightmares SJ. Jornicus, he's taken out. Nightmares SJ was taken out. The Colossus was taken out. Bird of Prey not really in the right positioning either. It's a back and forth slap around fight. But Jornicus went back to upgrade his Tempest, and they are doing some damage at range, and they do save him right there. Okay, so okay, I don't think he did it too bad. But early upgrade Tempests are not the greatest. They are okay. I love Tempest. They are good. They are great. They are amazing units. They can make a huge difference. I don't upgrade them in the very beginning. They cost 225 energy, which is a lot of your starting. It's actually your entire starting energy. It's also a lot more than you can really support reasonably well. And yes, he upgraded them to 6. 6 is good. 16 is better. 64 is amazing. You want to keep on like. They can do a lot of siege damage, but they also have to be babied. So right now, Hoang General, this is a good place for him, but he also has to protect these because they cost so much energy. Rock and Dark, similarly, has to kind of stay back because the Tempest can only shoot massive ships, right? And the base. So, but they can't attack the small ships, so the small ships can go up there and kill them. Interceptors wreck their day. They provide an area of denial, which is great, especially in this game, especially when you want to keep them at their base, but you also have to baby them. And then he is going to split his money between making awesome Tempests and making awesome interceptors. So it's not bad, but it changes the focus of the game. Now the MVP, so to speak, is Patrioticus and his cute little Tempest. Bird of Prey, getting pushed back. He has a 10 beam. 10 beam is amazing. Now with the Arbiter, you always have your beam and you always have your lasers. It says damage 100 to massive ships and 13 to light. The more you can either choose to upgrade how much damage you're doing to massive ships, or how much damage you're doing to light units. Light units basically being farm and interceptors. He went right now saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm the heavy damage dealer. 2-shot farming is the best I can do right now." TSG Spank pushing back. Let's see. And he's just going to double down and triple down and quadruple down on the fact that he's just a Void Ray pointy bishop who wants to, poke at the Overlord and the Rock and Dark. He doesn't have Cloak because he didn't upgrade it the first upgrade. He might get it eventually. It's more reasonable to get it eventually when you know what your team is going for. They have 2 people who could detect him, so maybe he doesn't get it right now. Maybe he gets it later. And you see, they're always kind of like, the blue team is staying right by their little buddies, right by their Tempests. Tempests are actually really good in this situation, especially because all 3 of these ships can't use interceptors. They can't use interceptors, and they don't have very long range. So these interceptors are upgraded a little bit, so they have 17 range. That one was upgraded to have 10, and that's after many upgrades that he has 10. The only person who has interceptors, and he's using them right now, is the Tempest, the THG Spank, right? And then you take him out. Let's see. Now we have kind of. But let's look at the team compositionally. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's a the farming between them is relatively even. Even if the red side has more, they don't have very much more money. So per capita, the blue side is like richer, you know. But let's look at the team compositionally. We have a tank. Leviathan, I guess you could call it a tank / a bruiser if you wanted to. But it does a high amount of damage and has a lot of health. It just really, it can't be healed, right, as we saw with the other guy. But it also has to do that damage. The good stuff is only at 5 range. You can't upgrade how much faster 5 range is. And 5 range, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's basically like within hugging distance. This is the giant tentacle slapping Huggy Bear who has to beef up, take all the protein shakes he could possibly do. 16,500 is not the most. He might go up to like 20,000, and most of that is just so like he can get between the range that any of these ships have and 5, right? So like those have 17. He has to get between 17 and 5. Bird of Prey being pushed back. I think the feedback really saved Bird of Prey right there, because without it, there was going to be another attack from Hoang General. But oh no, guys, stay by Bird of Prey. Bird of Prey is being chased down by interceptors. He only has does 13 damage versus light units, which the interceptors are. The interceptors are taken out, but he did about 1,000 extra damage just by not being around his buddies. Carriers sometimes can get a lot of sneaky kills. The interceptors are upgraded 11 times and do 34 damage. And usually when you look at their number of upgrades, they have half of that armor. So 11 is about 5.5, right? Divided by, if you divide it in half. Hoang General really using his Kamehameha Blast. Oh, and it's going to be saved by Gorky. Gorky went for the Cloak. Now, Arbiters can't cloak each other, themselves, but they can cloak other units, and he did that. He created a little like old school Arbiter ability of cloaking field. It's a short range, but it really can change that. Hoeing General does more damage with his Side Blast versus the one tank, the Leviathan, because it does more versus biological. And he really, like, 2 shots probably would have taken them out, to be honest. Oh, and hello, little buddy. Okay, can I, like, set a hotkey on him or something? No. We have the Observer. Okay, so Ghetto SC died earlier in the game, right? Just he was the Dreadnought. He was taken out. He has to get Observer. Now, what that means is this Arbiter, Rock and Dark, went back to base and upgraded Observer. Observers are the Arbiter way of cloaking. It creates a little cute buddy who is independently controlled. These Patronicus Tempests are created but not controlled by Patronicus, right? But this Tempest is completely free to move around the battlefield as it likes. It's completely cloaked, and you know what he did? Rock and Dark gave it to Ghetto to say, hey, you know what? There is no respawn in this game, but there is. You can get shared control, so that's what he's going to do. Now, that really limits the red team's ability. They could, take out Walt White here if they keep on pushing, and they do! Hoeing General takes out Walt White. THC Spank is in the exact right position, and he does use his Frenzy ability, which is the ultimate ability for Leviathans. It doubles their damage. And it almost is enough to maybe take out Hoeing General as a return the favor for taking out. And it's Side Blast. Okay, now he only has 3,000 life, and the Interceptors are pushing back. Now, the Leviathan, unlike the... Oh, it is also being cloaked right now. Leviathan, unlike the Void Ray, actually does a great... his main attack is his Slapping Tentacles. So the Slapping Tentacles are pretty decent against Interceptors. They're not, the greatest upgrade against them, but it might be the best that they can do right now. And the Observer is there just to kind of, if he's not detecting, right, he can still spy on them. He's permanently cloaked, and he goes 2.5 speed. Now, if they detect him, then they can shoot him down. He only has 150 shields and 150 life, so not the biggest ship out there. Obviously, he's a little cute Observer. He's a little buddy, but he has to actually stay kind of away from this base. You see this little circle right there? That's as far as the battle station, the tower, can shoot and probably detect. And now we've lost the Observer. He's somewhere. Oh, there he is. He's always flying around. They're a little bit hard to see. You can, just like regular Cloak in regular StarCraft, you can see the ripple, but there's so much going on you might not see the ripple. Let's see. And one thing that this is going to be really helpful for is like detecting where these guys are. The Sky Furies are good. All of these ships are relatively squishy and don't really like to be shot very much. Oh, are we seeing a really cute around the side action going on? Is this going to be detected? I don't think they see it. There's a little field of vision around them, and where did these Tempests come from? These are just the House Tempests. They just kind of came around the side serendipitously. Blue team is freaking out. No, there's a vortex to save them. There's a vortex that saved Hoeing General. The Leviathan was in the right position, was on frenzy mode, going crazy there. But then was sucked into the vortex. These Broodlords are spawned by Hoeing General. Not spawned by him in the same way that Tempests are, but just created automatically because he has what's it called, Swarm Command. Increases the amount of it spawns waves of Mutalisks, which are okay, Corruptors, which are amazing, and Broodlords, which are beautiful. Extra little damage there. Extra little siege right there. And TSG Spank, the best laid plans, you know what I mean? Now he still has, this happens actually pretty often. The Leviathan is at like half health, right? But he's a Leviathan. Leviathans, once they get evolve, they can upgrade in base, and basically they never go back to base unless they're installing an upgrade. So interception, closing the gap, doing the little it's basically like zealot charge, and then frenzy to double your attack damage. And because he can in-flight heal as well. The Gorky used Chrono Boost to make that happen even faster, make him attack even faster as well. So the blue side's really afraid of this guy because they don't have a tank. They have a support, another damage support, and a carrier who does stuff at long range but not close range. Oh, he's gonna charge in. He is gonna push back Hoeing General. Pyrgenicus is spawning his Tempests. Void Ray also coming in, and there's another swing and a miss. There's a swing and a miss Vortex right there. Are they going to be taking out Pyrgenicus right now? THG Spank is pushing back, but he does get a Kamehameha Blast right there, and the Kamehameha Blast does extra damage versus biological, and that pushed him over the edge. When he had 5,000 health, he maybe was going to push a little more, but only at 3,000 health, he said, no, I don't want to die. Let's see, how much is it upgraded? Yeah, it was upgraded a lot. It starts off with doing like 1,000 damage, and is now doing 2285 plus 250 for bio and shields. And then minus 250 for mech, so like the shield part of this would be affected more, and then once he doesn't have shields, it does less. But still, 2285 out of with a starting of only 1,000. That's amazing. And look at this little observer saying, "Okay, they're over here. This is the farm." And there we go. Now he has a really good purpose because these can shoot probably farther than they can look. And so they want to make sure that they can hit there. Now he actually was out of position right there. If he was maybe a little bit closer, they would have been shooting back here instead, and that would have been a little bit better. Let's see. Tempest being taken out. Blue side saying, "Yeah, no, we have to retreat. We do have the financial advantage, but we don't want to overextend because none of our ships are designed for taking damage. And you know what these people are designed for? Killing things." Look at this prismatic beam, still at 100, but upgraded so it's shooting so quickly. 0.31. The tentacles are getting super tentacle grapey, doing 84 damage versus massive at 0.27. Or in general, he has kind of the I guess piano build. He has one of everything. He even has Psionic Shockwave. I hope we see that. That's so awesome. So he has the blast, the Hadouken blast right there. He has the to do big attacks. He has Plague to burn them down. He has Contaminate to slow down their abilities. He has Siphon to drain their abilities. He has Warp to get to and from battle a little bit quicker. And then he has Psionic Shockwave to say, hey, you guys are too close to me. Whoa, get away. But he has everything. You know what he is like really susceptible to? What we just saw there, feedback. This feedback war. Let's see. It's Gorky has it, Rock and Dark, and Hoeing General all have the ability to drain energy, and pretty much every one of these ships should have their energy drained regularly, because every one of these ships can get crazy when they have too much energy. Hoeing General maybe especially because he just has the piano build. He has everything that you could possibly ask. He's a little Swiss Army knife of usefulness. He's kind of like, when your kids make up superpowers and they say like, oh yeah, I have flight and invincibility and like invisibility and like teleportation, and you're like, but choose one. No, I have like 8. My power is just to get more powers. That's basically what he has. He has every possible combination, but the one thing that he needs is energy, and even at 600 energy, it ain't enough. Not enough for everything all the time. So let's say, so that just shows that he has to like really be on his toes, really use his keyboard like a crazy person. The Tempests are spawning, and they've been upgraded 20 times now. Now they're doing so much damage. 260 versus regular damage versus structures, and 540 at 17 range. Even THC Spank, the spankingest Leviathan, has to try to avoid it if possible. Sometimes the best way of dealing with Tempests is to get around them. No need to go up the middle. No need to go up the middle. Watch this. If you go around the side, they're going to keep on going straight. They don't follow you. They're on this little red line. They're just trying to go forward. Wherever you place them, they try to go forward to the mothership and just shoot at whatever they can shoot at in the meantime. So THC Spank said, no, that's okay. We're going to go around the side. And he does want to go around the side, because around the side you might be able to get lucky. You might be able to catch somebody who's warping. You might be able to do anything else. The blue side has a lot of money and they have a lot of cool abilities, but they don't have very much health and they don't have very much sustained damage. So they're pretty much relying on Tempest right now. So so they really can't push very much past half. So what can the blue side do? They can kind of stay around the Tempest. They can use their fancy abilities. Maybe get lucky with a Vortex. They can be used offensively or defensively. What can the red side do? The red side, look at this guy. We have another piano player over here. We got the Arbiter has Cloaking Field to cloak his friends if they're ever in danger. He has Boost to make everybody move a little faster, shoot a little faster. And that's, I mean, heck, if you get like these two guys especially, right? THC Spank doing his 84 versus Massive, and Bird of Prey's 100 versus Massive. Well, if you can make that go faster than it already is, then that's just gonna melt them. You got Stasis Field to hold them in position. Think of it like the like kind of more targetable single use Vortex, and then he has his energy to drain them, and of course he has Warp to get in and out. So he's another Swiss Army knife over here. And then we have the Bird of Prey, who actually just really, he went armor. He has a lot of armor. He is saying that even after you get me down from how many shields that I have, which he upgraded, he's still going to be a threat. He's not completely wimpy after he gets his shields taken out. And he has his 100, which is now doing 0.21. So he basically said 100 is a nice round number. I love it. And he's just going to make that 100 go faster and faster. 0.21 is much faster than 0.31, right? So he's there to get them out of position and to pick off the weak ones and burn and melt them through. THC Spank is there to really just take the damage and do the damage. Just has to get close. Just has to get close. Whoa, command, boom! We have Hoang General pushing back THC Spank, maybe a little bit preemptively. He used his Psionic Shockwave, which is the ultimate ability for Overlords. And it basically creates a little burst around them that does 1,000 damage to anything that's in the area and pushes it away. It's the whole like, that's my person, I don't know you button, and just pushes things away. He just happened to not be in mortal danger, but if he was, that's a great way of escaping. It's also really fun to push them into base. It's really hard to push them into base, like to use that ability, go around them and like make them burn into your base, but like it's possible. It just also kind of puts the Overlord in danger. Let's hope we see that. That'd be awesome. Let's see. Now because the okay, so now because the Tempests are upgraded even further, doing 680 damage at 19 range. Oh my gosh. The Interceptors are doing okay. Like, favorite child? Hey, good job as well. The Tempests are the main focus because they're the main thing that does damage, and look at them. They're just flying away. They don't care. They don't care that THC Spank and Gorky are back up there. They're just flying to base. They're flying to base. The Interceptors are playing kind of second fiddle here. Oh, there's a perfect plague on that, but there's a return the favor going in, and now the second commandment, big old blast, pushes them back. Now that was a psionic shockwave to push them back. He does have his Psy Blast, 2945, plus some 250 for biologicals, so he's doing just a crazy amount of damage. Vadronicus is really just banking on his Tempest. So the Leviathan for red and the Void Ray for red, if they can go around them, then they can just negate the main thing that they're afraid of. So Hoenn General and Rock and Dark have to stay kind of like, you know, around the Tempest to protect them. It's all positioning here. If the red side goes around the blue, catches them off position, they'll burn them down nearly immediately. If the blue side overextends, they're toast. Oh, and look at that. Look at that, Vadronicus. His Tempests are able to see over here now because the Observer is in the area. And even though Bird of Prey doesn't even have Cloak, the Observer's just helping to extend the area. But of course, it's not going to save them forever because although they can shoot the towers, which they are doing, they're going to be taken out. Let's see. Okay, now he has stasis on the for what's it called, Rock and Dark as well. So they have now two abilities to kind of hold on to a specific member or members of the red side. They can vortex them and then hold on to them. And look at this. You know what? How the red side said their strategy basically relies on getting close, getting them out of position, and getting, you know, some nice damage in. That's harder to do if you're being spied on. Let's see. So the blue side is saying, yeah, you know, I mean, we can see you there, and we're going to make sure we kind of stay away. There's really nothing they can do. And look, that's actually super cute. Both the House Tempest and the House Broodlord spawned at the same time, both pushing back. But, let's see. Oh, there's a holdup. There's Gorky holding on to Hoenn General. Now, if TSG Spank and the Void Ray just stay on them. Oh, and there's a swing and a miss Vortex, but the Void Ray just flies into it anyway. The Vortex wasn't in the exact right position, but the Void Ray didn't move back in time. He didn't press the back. He didn't click directly behind him, so he just kind of like went a little bit forward. Gorky using a cloak to cloak the Leviathan, but there's detection. There's detection because our cute little observer buddy is detecting. He's using his energy 150 right now. There's a holdup on Bird of Prey. And it's just a defensive holdup. Rock and Dark says, get away. Just holds him, pushes away. Now, it wasn't quite enough to take out the Leviathan, but it did do so much damage that he's now heavily injured. He has to go back to base. He has 2,800 life. He's not going to burn down and die, but he does have to go back eventually, because he's not going to be able to gain any health anymore. He didn't upgrade any healing. Probably should. Probably should upgrade healing. Bird of Prey does have Cloak now. Now, even with Detect, even though there's the cute little observer buddy, which I'm sure they probably know about at this point, the Cloak might still be an option because the observer might not be in that area when he's using it. You know, like if he happens to catch just Rock and Dark or just Vadronicus off guard. So I think the blue side is saying to tech switch a little bit. Yes, your Tempests are like massive, and they can get just more and more thick. But like, you know, they also are kind of limited in the fact that like they might not always be there. So maybe interceptors are a little bit more better to do at the moment. They're kind of at mid range right now. Maybe they should go a little bit more. Use the Tempest, but then don't forget about the other stuff. Oh my god, 30 upgraded Tempests. Oh, that costs so much money. Oh, that costs so much money to think about. Because every time that you upgrade something, it costs more money than it did last time. So, and they start off, I think, at like 25. So 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Oh my gosh, all the way up to, what's it called? 30? Yeah. I'm not even going to attempt to try that. In general, he has so many abilities. He was like, okay, which ability can I use? But none of them at the moment because the TSG Spank's just super beefy. 20,000 life, upgraded so many times as well. And plus he has 16 armor, plus 4 when he, what's it called? I think he probably has the ability which does extra armor if you're damaged as well. And he even has 12 locusts. His locusts are almost as good as Prodronicus's interceptors on paper. Whew. Had to save it there before I get flamed. Let's see. I should tell you about that. What that means. You had to push back in general using his whoa ability to push him back. So the locusts on paper have do 36 damage. And the interceptors do 40. That's comparable, 12 to 14. But the locusts have 64 life. The interceptors have 64 health and 68 health and 68 shields. So they have twice the health, and the interceptors are spawn out all at once instead of the cute little conga line. Oh, bird of prey! You gotta get healed, buddy. One more side blast from Hoenn General takes him out. Takes him out entirely. And even though he was being detected, he was being even though he was being cloaked, he was being detected because of our cute little observer buddy. Now Prodronicus is has his Tempest. They are all pushing back. Red side is staying around to the side. Now that does keep them safe from the Tempest, but does also push them get them out of a little bit out of position. There's further from here back instead of the middle back, and maybe that makes a difference, especially if Hoenn General uses his plague to burn them down. And then if he starts just doubling down the side blast, he might be able to take them out. But no, Rock and Dark and Hoenn General said, you know what, we already got 1 kill. We don't need to get 2 because we don't want to die. Side Blast does not have a theoretical limit, so you can keep on upgrading. 33,050? Oh man, that's so much. But it doesn't have a theoretical limit. It's just, it costs more money. It's actually a relatively recurring theme in Star Battle. There's no theoretical limit except like financially hard to do. Okay, we have a burning down, we have a contaminate, we have detect being used because THC Spank is being cloaked. There's a feedback which might save him because he only has 2,000 life, and that's way him decide. Oh, and Hoenn General takes out another one. THC Spank gets spanked. And Gorky says, GG, I give up. Oh my gosh, because he's now just an arbiter. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Press like, press subscribe. We're doing StarCraft Star Battles all the time.